Good morning, everyone. It's good to be back this morning, and it is May the 24th, 2024 at 7 a.m. And this is another session of Daily Spiritual Medicine. And I want to take just a few moments and talk on a subject that different ones have written me a question about, as they've heard me speak across the years and the decades. And the question is, you know, why have you talked about and why do you discuss and what do you mean by making the statement we're in the 23rd chapter of Revelation? And so, very quickly, I want to tell you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you like things, make a comment, share it with somebody. It helps to be able to do this. So, I want to talk on that this morning. This is volume 22 and of Daily Spiritual Medicine. And I'm going to talk for just a couple minutes on the 23rd chapter of Revelation. Now, you would say to yourself immediately, there's only 22 chapters. That's my point. The book of Revelations has finished as far as what was written down. The Bible has finished as far as what has been written down. Um, in word form or logic form or Rima, whatever you want to call it. So I know some of you are sitting and listening and you're wrestling in your minds as to whether to take that step into another book, into another age, into another era, or whether not to stay back in the church age, stay back in those transition ages and different things, and not move forward. And that's in your minds. This is why I chose to title my message Revelation chapter 23. This little thought. Questions are coming in. We are at a junction in time. That's what happened. That's why you had a prophet. That's why you had the greatest healing age in all the world. That's why you had all these things in front of us, the pillar of fire moving into the earth and moving through the earth again, just like it did in the old days of the book of Acts. So we're at a junction in time wherein we must move forward. And if we don't, it's like the men sitting on the wall in the Old Testament, and they were eating from the scraps that the people were throwing over the wall because there were armies out besieging the city, and they had them surrounded. And the two looked at one another and said, what are we going to do? It's been so long that no more scraps are coming over the wall. And it has been so long that we're going to sit here and starve to death if we don't do something. So they said, let's just get up and walk out, go into the face of whatever's out there facing us, whatever armies and whatever they do to us. So when they walked out, they found all of the enemy was laying lifeless, and the angel of the Lord had moved through the camp and took the breath out of every one of them. And all of those spoils that were laying there was all theirs. They could pick from it first. Why could they pick from it first? Because they chose to walk out there into the unknown ahead of everyone else. That's your choice. Um, Myself, I've walked out there. So we are in that time. The Spirit is pulling us forward into new movements, new ideas, new discoveries, these kinds of things. So a man by the name of Daniel Henry, Brother Branham had spoke on a message, and Daniel Henry came up to him and said, Reverend Branham, said, that message you just gave us could have been titled the 23rd chapter of Revelation. And he said back to him, yes, I understand. And then he said, but there's only 22 chapters in Revelation, and you can't add to the Bible. Well, that's why I have said we've moved into another book, because the 22 chapters and the Bible have finished and you can't add to it. So what are we doing? We're writing another book. And that writing is upon our hearts, and we're living out. When a prophet is shown something in the spirit by vision, he just speaks what he sees. That's what prophets do. And so then you get all the interpretations from everyone, from denominations after a while, from every preacher and everyone that thinks that they know the message. You get all the interpretations of what the prophet seen. Now you get what the prophet seen in a raw form. He just says what he's seen. And then you get all of these interpretations from all the preachers and people as they try to make it happen or wait for it to happen or say it's already happened. You get all of those interpretations. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just telling you what's coming forth in this day. A prophet is placed by vision in the vision so he can get the impact of it. In the vision, he was looking as far as he could see. This is your prophet. He said, I'm looking as far as I can see, when he was talking about the United States being burned over like ashes. He said, I'm looking at it as far as I can see. Now, let me make this statement. The average person can see approximately 4 miles on a clear day. That's far as Brother Branham could see, about 4 miles. Now, if you're out on the sea, you can see about 8 miles. So let's just say he was lifted up like Daniel out on the sea, looking as far as he could see. He could see about 8 miles. And we have watched, just this past 2 years, we have watched over 10 million in acres per year. That's 20 million acres in California and Hawaii since 2015 burn to ashes. I mean, it showed it, ashes everywhere. As we watch TV, watch the internet, watch all these things, we see it happening, and we witness the collapse and the fall of Hollywood. My point is, the prophet looked out there and he's seen ashes everywhere. It doesn't mean that the whole United States, which is, I don't know how many miles wide and how many miles deep and all the different things about it, but it doesn't mean the whole United States was burned over. What I'm saying is it's a spiritual thing. And this spiritual thing, we also witnessed the collapse of Hollywood, a spiritual thing, the collapse of Laodicea, which is symbolically, church-wise, Hollywood. So the prophet's eye was always on California. He's seen a burning, and Brother Branham was constantly talking about California. Now look at California with all the burning and all the things that are taking place, and look at Hollywood with the collapse, all these things going on. The prophet's eye was always on it. And when he would speak of so many things coming, and now we're watching it, and we're sitting back and giving an interpretation saying, oh, that's not it. That's not it, because it's going to do this and it's going to do that and it's going to burn and it's the whole United States is going to be ashes and on and on and on. Well, that's your interpretation. My interpretation is, let's say that California is burning. California is what the prophet had his eye on when he was talking about judgment. California is in Pride Month. California is showing forth all of this filth and all this ungodliness and everything else that's going on. California is the head of all of it. It's the head of the snake. It's the head of that movement of atheism. It's the head of of government taking over education. It's the head of everything that comes to the contrast and the ungodliness of what is moral and right. So the prophet's eye was watching it all the time. We're connected to the spiritual of all things. Your spiritual is open. It's a day of spirituality. It's Aquarius. Now it's a matter of taking interest. It's wide open for you. Being interested in aligning your feelings and your emotions with the flow of the spirit and the universe. Consciousness, moving to a higher level. When you remove something from your thoughts and it feels better within you, if you remove it and you feel better emotionally, feeling wise, understanding, clear vision, if you feel something when you remove something from your thoughts and feelings and it feels better, then go with it. Go with what works for you instead of worrying about all this judgment, because this judgment is just happening as we sit, as we talk, as we sleep, as we do all these things. When you can see, understand, and feel the flow of the Spirit uniting with your flesh and moving and thoughts, then you are moving in the right direction. Don't worry or bother yourself about doctrine. People always said to me, Brother Parnell, I need to understand this more. I need notes. I need this. I need that. Don't worry about doctrine, dogma, creed, or anything that forces your spirit to feel restricted or limited. My language is not right. Therefore, when I listen, I don't understand and I feel restricted. I feel limited. I feel this and that. You're moving in a direction that's not good for you if you feel that way. Take what you can, get it, understand it, study it, and have a revelation of Jesus Christ for yourself. So be a free thinker and willing to change anything about yourself. Just be a free thinker. The age of Aquarius is Revelation 23. That's what we're talking about. The book of humanity, where life flows connected on one source of energy of love. Our life, our age, the ministry of the heart after we eat the book and manifest the continuations of Revelations 22. So we go into Revelation 23. It is our personal experience. So what is it, Brother Parnell? What are you talking about when you say what do you mean by Revelation 23? It is our personal experiences and growth as a spiritual person in the flesh. That's what it is. The personal experiences and growth as a spiritual person in the flesh for you individually, not a book, not a chapter, not something that's written, but things that are happening in your life, in your book, in your understanding is Revelation 23. And we see this in Revelation 23 is the life of the present people on the scene, living the life of Jesus Christ, walking in the earth. In another book is Revelation 23. It is written, I came in the volume of the book, and it is written of me. And it also said that we are the book read of all men. So here sits the volume. Here sits the book, sitting right here, looking at you, talking through these lips, through my eyes. Here is the book. And you can say the same thing. The book of humanity, it's us. We have just come through this junction of time as a holistic body. All of us transferred, transformed, translated into another book, a book of life. Whatever book is manifesting here, whatever book is manifesting in the earth is a part of the book of life. You are a part of the book of life, and you are manifesting your part. We've come through this junction of time, and we are here now. Whatever book is manifesting is the book of life. The whole New Testament was open to the Piscean age of the church. The whole New Testament was open to the Piscean age of the church, or to the seven messengers, to the seven sisters in the ship of Argo. You could just go on and on about it. The seven church ages, the seven captains that were moving the ship and moving it into the Orion and so forth. If you're watching all the things in the heaven going on, and we see all of this happen, and the whole New Testament was open to the Piscean ages of the church. And what was it to do? It was to reveal the feminine nature of Christ, the woman, the female, the feminine. That's what the church ages was all about. And to show her as the bride of Jesus Christ, the one whom Christ himself loved, brought her out of him at Calvary, baptized her and formed her at Pentecost, and then built the body down through seven church ages, and then removed the veil and put her on display as perfect. This woman, this happened as she was revealed as the invisible union of the bride. You don't see a man and a woman walking down an aisle. You don't see a male and a female living together as Jesus Christ and the bride. You don't see a family. You don't see children. You don't see any of those things in the natural. But it is a spiritual, symbolic age, that church age group. And this happened as she was revealed as the invisible union of the bride, and her heavenly home was opened and described. John opened it up, looked at it, and then here comes a prophet at the end of the church ages, reveals the entire line and genealogy spiritually of Christ and his body. So we see this now. There was to be a revealing of the church and the New Testament at the end of their book of life. They were in a book of life, and that has happened. The revealing came forth. Jesus makes a statement at the end of the book. I, Jesus, have sent my angel to testify of these things in the church. He did that. It's happening. His angel is not a, quote, man, one man himself, but his angel is the one who moves in you. His angel is the one who talks in you, who lives in you, who has the emotion, the feeling, and the action in you. His angel is the one that speaks to me and deals with me. His angel is pillar of fire, theophany, and it is revealing another book, or you could call it Revelation chapter 23. You can call it that. It's the greatest thing that has happened in our age and in our time. It's a wonderful experience when you step out of the old book into the new. I welcome you to Revelations 23.